I sat alone at the petitioner's table with 2 binders stacked like bricks, the courthouse smelling of old carpet and burnt coffee. Across the aisle, my father sprawled on the bench as if he owned the place. Gordon Mercer's laugh had always been a weapon and he loved testing it on me. My brother Rhett sat beside him, tie too tight, eyes sliding away. He was the golden child. I was Theon everyone tolerated. Their attorney, polished suit, polished grin, introduced himself with easy confidence. When the judge asked if I had counsel, I stood. I'm representing myself, Your Honor. Gordon's laughter cracked through the room. The bailiff glanced over. She's too poor to hire a lawyer, my father announced, loud enough for the gallery to join in. A few people chuckled. The attorney's smirk widened like the ending was already written. I felt my face heat but my hands didn't shake. I opened the binder, flipped to the tab marked in yellow, and waited until the attorney called the deed transfer legally binding. Then I rose again. Your Honor, I said, that transfer is voidable because my mother left a handwritten will, and under our probate statute it controls distribution. A deed executed to sidestep probate can't stand. The room stopped. Not figuratively stopped. A cough stalled mid-sound. Someone's pen hovered, forgotten. Rhett forgot toppling. My father's smile slipped. Confusion crossed his face, then something tighter like fear wearing a thin mask of respect. The judge leaned forward. Continue, Miss Mercer. I nodded once. That silence didn't come out of nowhere. It was built night after night out of being the afterthought in my own family. And it began with my mother's house. I grew up in Briar County where last names opened doors. My father Gordon never let me forget I was second. Rhett was the heir. If he failed, Dad called it learning. If I succeeded, Dad called it luck and waited for it to fade. I enlisted at 19 to get out. The Navy trained me to live inside evidence, timelines, contradictions, briefs that left no room for arguing with reality. Mom was the only one who asked about my life. Then she died and her house became the last place that still felt like her. I kept sending money for repairs because it seemed right even when Dad never thanked me. Rhett kept chasing deals and collecting debts. When my aunt warned Methy were selling Mom's place and transferring the deed to Rhett alone, I drove home and confronted them. Dad didn't flinch. Rhett needs it, he said. You're gone. When I mentioned Mom's handwritten will, he laughed. You think you have a say? That night I stopped trying to win his approval. I requested every filing and read probate statutes until dawn. I found an old property tax certification with Dad's signature clear. On the new deed transfer his name slanted differently like a rushed copy. I printed Rhett's collection notices. Mrs. Klein gave me a notarized statement describing the signing and Dad pushing for speed. Now in court the opposing attorney tried to talk over me. The judge lifted a palm. Let Miss Mercer finish. I set the old tax form beside the deed. Same man, I said. Different signature. My father didn't laugh. The judge's eyes went to their attorney. Counsel, he said. Well, take a brief recess. I end the hallway. Their attorney leaned in close to my father. You hit the handwritten will, he said. And you hit her transfers. Dad's lips flattened. Rhett kept rubbing his palms on his pants. Back inside the judge nodded at me. Miss Tessa Mercer, proceed. I handed up Mrs. Klein's notarized statement, the bank transfers for the roof and heater, and the older tax form with my father's clean signature. The judge laid it beside the deed. His gaze flicked between the strokes. Heater ned to Rhett. These collection notices are accurate. Rhett's voice came out small. Yes, Your Honor. The judge looked at the opposing attorney then back at Theed. The court is issuing an injunction, he said. No sale, no transfer, no encumbrance of the property until probate is complete. The handwritten will is admitted for determination. Both heirs retain equal standing. That was it. No gavel drama, no speeches, just the law snapping shut around their plan. Rhett muttered a curse under his breath. The bailiff didn't even have to move. The sound of authority in the room did it for him. On the courthouse steps, air scoured the sweat from my skin. Dad came out last. Shoulders heavy, eyes unsure. Tessa, he said like the name was new. You embarrassed me in there. I stopped letting you embarrass me, I answered. His throat worked. Your mother always said you were the steady one. In keeping the house, I said. Well, settle Rhett's share through probate, but the place stays in the family the way she meant. Dad stared at the sky for a beat, then nodded. I'm proud of you, he whispered. Quiet, plain, and finally.